Hello, my name is Maddie Miller, and welcome to my podcast. Today I will be discussing the processes of a relationship, and these include finding a partner and maintaining a healthy and strong relationship. The first thing when you feel that you want to create a relationship with someone is finding a compatible partner to do it with. Relationships are complex and difficult things, and a lot of the times it can be hard to find that exact person that you feel that you want to tell everything to and spend most of your days with. When talking with someone and finding a potential partner, it is important to consider the 4 dimensions of relational communication. The first one is affinity, and that is the degree to which people appreciate and like each other. The second one is respect, and that is the degree to which we admire someone and hold them in high esteem. The third is immediacy, and this is the degree of interest and attraction we feel to communicate with others. And the fourth one is control. This involves the amount of influence exercised by each communicator. Analyzing how you and the other person feel about each other using these can help you to determine if you could be compatible together. If you both feel similarly about each dimension, you could be compatible, and if you don't, then you could also be incompatible. Something to be careful of when looking for someone to create a relationship with is the halo effect. This is when someone impresses you and you assume that they have more positive qualities than they really do. There have been times where I've thought that someone would make a great or perfect partner because of what they did for me in order to become my partner. Later on in the relationship, I quickly realized that it was kind of all a facade and they weren't the person that I truly thought they were, based on one act of kindness or affection. Another important thing to think of is your own reflected appraisal. This is how individuals develop an image of themselves based on how they think others view them. You shouldn't be with someone or pursue a relationship with someone who makes you have a bad self-image. I've had plenty of men make me feel bad about myself, but an adequate partner should not and will not do that. In the end, your self-worth cannot be determined by someone else and can only be determined by yourself. A complementary relationship is important to have, and this is when you and your partner's needs satisfy each other's. You and your partner's characteristics satisfy each other's needs. It's important to find someone who you can have this with in order to keep each other happy and so that no one ever feels like their needs are less important or not being met. The last part in creating a relationship can involve relational messages. These make a statement about how parties feel towards each other, and oftentimes these can help to reveal true feelings or cause a relationship to potentially blossom into something better. When you finally create a relationship with someone, the next step is keeping the relationship strong. Relational maintenance is important to keep in mind, and it involves keeping a stable relationship operating smoothly and satisfactory. One way to keep up with relational maintenance is to show your partner that you truly love and care about them. You can do this by learning each other's love languages. There are 5 love languages created by Gary Chapman, and the first one is affirming words, which involves statements, compliments, and thanks that expresses your love for that person. The next one is quality time, and this involves showing love by spending time together, talking, and doing things together. The third one is with gifts, and this is when you show your love by giving or receiving gifts. The fourth one is physical touch, which is when you show your love with physical affection, such as hugs or kisses or holding hands. And the fifth and final one is acts of service. This is when you show love by doing favors and caring for each other. For example, shoveling their snowy driveway or making them soup when they're sick. It is important to know which love language your partner uses because it can help you and your partner show your love for each other in the best way possible. Knowing which one your partner and yourself use allows you to focus on ways of showing love that mean the most to the other person. Interpersonal communication is something that's important to think about when in a relationship because it's what you use when talking to your partner. This is the interaction between two people who are part of a close and irreplaceable relationship in which they treat each other as unique individuals. While using this, you want to keep your communication climate consistent. If the emotional tone of conversation is constantly fluctuating between happy or sad, content or angry, it can be confusing, exhausting, and lead to conflicting feelings about the relationship with each day that passes. With any relationship comes a few issues. Solving issues can be daunting and hard to talk about, but it is very important to do in order to maintain a relationship. In my experience, a lack of communication can lead to an avoidance spiral. This is when people slowly lessen their dependence on one another and withdraw, becoming less interested and just putting less effort into the relationship to keep it healthy overall. We learned that a lack of communication can cause a relationship to quickly deteriorate from Knopp's model, and this leads me to my next point, where I discuss that talking about your feelings is important, but listening to your partner how you want them to listen to you is also just as important. It's important to avoid faulty listening habits, such as avoiding issues, and this is where you avoid talking about difficult subjects. Sometimes you need to talk about a subject, even if it is difficult, in order for you to move forward from it, and if you can't move forward, it can cause your relationship to not move forward as well. The next one that I find to be the most harmful is self-centeredness. This is always making the conversations about yourself and your own interests, and I believe that in a relationship, it should involve caring about the needs of each person, and it shouldn't always be one person getting catered to. This can make the other person that is not getting catered to feel underappreciated, like they aren't loved as much, and can put a lot of strain on a relationship. Listening closely and showing you care is crucial, and it's important to learn and apply listening techniques for healthy civil communication. Listening non-defensively in order to have healthy communications and discussions is very important. You need to remind yourself of your good qualities, avoid negative self-talk, and ask questions to learn more about how your partner is feeling, so you can truly understand them. Relational listening is when you emotionally connect with others while listening. It's always important to emotionally connect with your partner. You want to allow them enough time to share their points, listen for any further thoughts or feelings your partner may not be expressing, whether it be because they're scared to or just don't want to, and encourage them to talk more about their issues at hand. Then supportive listening. This is very important, and it involves helping your partner deal with personal dilemmas. You always want to be there for your partner, and it is important to consider what you can do to lessen their struggles and to not be judgmental. Everybody needs help sometimes. And having empathy with your partner is very important. It's one of Goleman's 5 dimensions of emotional intelligence. Having empathy when communicating issues can be extremely helpful and help you understand where the other person is coming from when communicating with you. If you can also experience a situation from not only your point of view, but your partner's point of view, it can help you to address how to react to situations and maybe what to say, just because you have a deeper understanding from being empathetic. When communicating, I believe that assertiveness is a very important characteristic. Oftentimes, messages can mean 2 different things and get misunderstood or twisted. Being assertive and directly and exactly communicating what you want to say and your message can prevent any confusion on it. Passive aggression and direct aggression is something that I believe should never be used when communicating with your partner. I've been passive aggressive before because I'm too nervous to directly communicate how I feel to the other person, and I've found that passive aggression only creates more confusion or conflict. It leaves your partner not only wondering why you are upset, but also wondering why you are treating them badly. It can also lead them to thinking they did something to make you feel upset, even when they didn't. Finally, I think that direct aggression is extremely unhealthy in a relationship and is not the type of communication you should use when speaking with someone you truly love or value ever. there are many conflicts that come with a relationship, and it can be hard to maintain a good balance between being by yourself and being with your partner. But I think it's very important to find a good balance between connection versus autonomy, because in relationships there's a conflicting desire for togetherness and independence. It's important to truly value the intimacy you do get with your partner and to truly love yourself as well. You always want to truly value the time that you get with your partner, and being together too much can decrease the value that you see in the time with your partner, and it can also decrease the value that you have as being your own individual. It's important to have a good balance and value time as an individual and with your partner. All in all, I think a partner should validate you and show you that they truly care about your well-being and feelings. It is important to find someone that you can connect with on a deeper level and communicate with. Communication is the utmost important factor in a relationship, and being able to talk about how you feel or difficult subjects without fear is crucial.